So I don't believe in God, or Scientology, or Judaism, or Muslimism. What's that one? The Muslims, their religion.
Muslim.
Is it just Muslim?
I mean, Islamic.
Islamic. There you go. Islamic.
Oh my
Islam.
God.
Islam.
No.
Yeah. Whatever.
We
it
should
is.
probably restart this.
Okay.
See, this is how much he knows about all religions. Yes, you are. You can be a Muslim just as you can be a Christian. You are Muslim.
Whatever. I don't believe in any of them. They're all fake. They're all comic books. They're all made up. They're not real.
And for what reason?
I think I would need a reason to believe in them. I think it's a way that we as people have filled in the gaps of things we don't know. And I don't really buy into any of that. Plus, if I pick the wrong one, I'm fucked. And there's always my favorite line, and I can't remember now if it was Dawkins that said it. I think it was Dawkins. It might have been, I don't know, either way. It's not my line, but it's a great line where somebody has said, well, you're an atheist too. It's just that there's 2,000 religions, and I don't believe in 2,000 of them, and you don't believe in 1,999 of them. So you're an atheist 1,999 times, and I'm just an atheist 2,000 times.
And see, I would disagree with that. The definition of atheism isn't say you believe in the God. You just believe in a God. The definition of, definition of being an atheist is that you don't believe in a God.
Agnostic, I guess I'd be.
So
I just think it's all fake bullshit that I don't
see.
I don't have time for.
Believes it's possible. They just don't know or believe that it's one God, or they don't subscribe to any.
I think you got that back.
No, an atheist believes there is no chance, no way in hell. There is no such thing as a God.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm more agnostic then.
Agnostic, because you believe there's a chance.
A very, 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 very small chance. And out of that tiny chance, the chance that your religion is right or the guy next door's,
fair enough.
You're probably all wrong, but
But your argument is that, hey, give me something proof, give me something to feel, touch, experiment, reproduce, and that you could believe in, right?
I do believe in things that can be touched and reproduced, and
So my argument, and come on from a conversation we're trying to jump back into here, is that I said, well, then you should be a sun god, or a sun worshiper, right?
Yeah.
There's something you can touch, feel. You
can't touch
it's
the
real.
sun.
It is possible.
It is not possible to touch the sun. You will be vaporized long before you ever get to the surface.
It is a physical object
that you cannot touch.
That exists.
Yes.
That maybe the human flesh cannot touch upon.
Correct.
However, you know it's there. You believe it's there.
I do believe it exists, yes.
So
I've seen it.
If you had an incredible force field around you and you could get there, it's there.
It's there.
That's what I mean by
yes. I believe that
the sun.
I believe that the sun exists.
Right.
And you were trying to, from what I gathered, trying to get me to think that I should be a sun worshiper now because the sun is a god somehow.
It could be.
It's not.
But I'm saying by your definition of what you could believe in, it could be a god, and you could recognize it given your your restrictions on what a god could be or what is God. It could exist as a god to you.
No.
Why?
Again, do I have to prove why I don't think the sun's a god?
In this case, yes.
Okay. I also don't think that my beer bottle's a god. I don't think that this microphone is God. I don't believe that a lot of things I can touch and see and feel are God because they're not.
So what would, again, kind of go back, if there was a God, what would make you believe it exists?
I would need to quite literally see God come down from heaven with my own eyes.
I see a heaven. Let's take that out.
Why?
I'm talking about
why?
Christians' God.
Well, you can't ask me to respond to a question.
A God.
Okay, I would need to see said God. I guess I don't know.
And so you have a construct that he looks like a person?
No, I don't think he exists.
I'm just saying.
I have no construct at all because I think we're.
It
could be a salamander agnostic with a dolphin fin.
But you wouldn't believe it because
a Walkman. I don't know.
Then why would you? How would you believe that?
I don't think I
God?
would. I really don't think I would. People believed that Jesus dude walking around that he was a thing, and I think they were all suckers.
So go back to you are an atheist. You don't believe a God could exist.
No, I'm saying that it's possible.
So again, I'm trying to suss out this possibility.
Okay.
What would make it possible to you? How would you say, it's no longer possible? Yeah, it is.
I guess I guess if you want to go with Christianity, revelations, something would have to happen. God would have to show up to everybody and be like, "I am God," and you'd have to be able to. Like, he'd be there, and it'd be a thing.
So somebody did show up and said, "I am God."
No, like up in the sky, like this big giant dude coming down and fucking shit up.
So it
and
has to be in the sky.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
Dude.
It's got to be something out there, man. Got to be a big fucking thing. I don't think I'd ever believe it. I don't know that I ever would.
So
why do you believe?
Does it have to be 50 feet wide, giant, or is it 500 feet giant? Is there a limitation to your God believing this?
Yeah, it doesn't really exist. I just don't believe in it.
So you are an atheist. You don't believe a God could exist.
I see. You're saying I don't believe one could exist.
Okay, so I'm trying. Yes, if you're going to make the argument
then
that
I
you
guess
believe one could exist,
for this, I'll just say yes. I'm an atheist. Even though I don't have any. See, as soon as you say that, people say, "Well, now you have to prove to me God doesn't exist."
No, I mean,
well,
I can
a lot of times.
I can contest it.
And I still think there's a lot of things we don't know. There's a long way that science has to go. We have a lot to learn. We don't know what dark matter is. We don't know a lot of things. We don't know how they work or what they are. So is it possible? Yes. In the same idea that, anything, quote unquote, is possible. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to subscribe to any form of any of it with nothing to go on.
So if there was a God, God was real.
Yeah.
What would God's role be to humanity?
I don't know.
No?
No,
It's
really,
fair that you don't know. I don't know is an answer. That's a funny caveat. I grew up my whole life believing that your mother says, "I don't know is not the answer. I don't know is not. That's not true.
That's a really good
I don't
answer.
know is an entirely true answer.
Yeah, I've never
don't know that answer.
Put that much thought into it to know. I have no idea. I don't know if we're an ant farm. I mean, I guess that's kind of what we would be. I guess he'd be like if we're fish and he like feeds us, we're in his tank. I don't fucking know.
Well, I mean, to jump on that, you can look back, think of earlier religions, especially, let's say Egyptian religion, believing that the sun
god. Yeah, they had one of those.
So one of your pretenses where it's something physical that you can see, touch, smell, know is actually there, and believe is actually there, right?
But religion is used to fill in the gaps of things we don't understand.
Okay,
so I get why the Egyptians would think that the sun came up and it was a god, and that the moon came up and it was a god. They didn't know what the fuck they were looking at. They were, they didn't know.
Well, just because they didn't know that it was
but now we know.
Igneous rock or whatever the case may be, does it change anything? It's still the moon.
Sure, but nobody worships it. Nobody runs around killing in the name of it.
Don't say nobody. There are people who do, but yes, I know.
Yeah, well, again, they're Scientologists, so the possibilities are limitless when it comes to insanity.
True.
But now we know what they are, and now modern society doesn't recognize. You can't go. I guess you probably could open up religion based on the sun, but I don't think it's there. I don't think it exists. We've filled that gap in. Now that we know what it is, there's no more use for God there because we figured it out.
Just because we figured out that it is a mass of hydrogen and helium that's going nuclear fission. Fission. Nuclear fission doesn't mean it's still not God.
Okay.
I mean, it could be, and it could be bazillion gods out there, all the stars. It could be. Our concept of God can be completely wrong. You think it's a 50-foot. I'm joking, but
that's fine.
A 50-foot face in the air going, "I am God." Maybe God's what provides life, and
in the context of your argument, then the sun could be a god just as easily as I am God, or my microphone is God, or my beer bottle's God.
But you don't provide life. You've made life.
The sun does.
The sun does provide life.
It helps. It aids in it, but you need other things besides. There are black smokers that live down in the very bottom of the ocean. Sunlight never touches there. There's life. So the sun doesn't provide life. Does it help? Does it aid in the process of life? Yes.
It does provide life. Other things can provide life, but it also does provide life.
Well, then so do I. I provided life.
You made life. You didn't provide life.
Sure, I fed them.
Your existence does not.
Without me existing, they would not exist.
You think so? But they could exist through somebody else. You don't know that.
Well, you're going way off.
Oh well,
on this
yeah, I can.
way
out
out
there because it's theological.
You can make up whatever you want to.
Theory, right?
No, it's a theologian. It's
theologian. Theological.
Yeah.
Right. But when you think of of religion and what makes it, like you said, fill in the gaps. That's the way I see kind of like I see religion in that way too. I do, as that explain the magic of life. In a sorts. That's what it
I
does.
don't think we
Explains
should
the
look.
magic.
I don't think we should look to religion to do that, because
You look to your religion called science.
seeing that science is definitely not a religion.
So, what divides science from religion? To you?
Science searches for the truth and trying to figure out how things work. And religion has a book that tells you how things work, and they don't want you to test it. So I know people that have gone...
But you're being very isolated. You're particularly talking about Christianity.
No, religion in general gives you the answers. Scientology gives you the answers. They got the little things you hook up to that tell you...
There are some religions that want you to go and find the answers.
I don't know of
They
one.
give you a guide.
But that would be the difference. The difference being that I don't, I don't have a set of guidelines that you follow the scientific rule, you follow that mindset, and whatever you come up with, you come up with.
From something in a book that somebody created.
No, we created this as we tested things and learned things.
Right.
And we're putting
wrote
this
in a book.
podcast out on the internet, which was created by that same process. And without that process, we would still be, hitting each other over the head with rocks. And, we learn, we discover our environment. We figure
So your
out how
argument
things
is we
work.
outgrow religion.
Yeah, I think we need to outgrow religion. I think that it might have helped, like we've talked about before, help maybe create some morals and some societal things. Maybe men would have, or mankind or womankind, or however you want to word it, maybe people would have figured this out on their own eventually. I don't know. I know it's done a lot of damage, religion. I think that it's time to get rid of it and shed it.
And I will disagree with you there. It's the
That's fine.
people who have caused the problem.
In the
Because they
name
are
of
greedy.
because they're like,
And
hey,
they
my
use the
God's
name,
right.
yeah.
No, my God's right. My God's right. And then they
True.
fight it out.
Again, it's not the religion's fault. It's the people.
No, but the religion.
They form the religion to justify their own cause, and that's crap.
I think our religion is formed for, I guess, purposes that aren't godly.
There's a story about, I think it's World War I or World War II, I can't remember, but we were using an island out in the Pacific for a relay point for our planes, and there was a native culture that existed on that island. So the military, the armed forces, the allies, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
were giving these folks food, right? And so they were feeding them, giving water, all this stuff. They couldn't speak the language, didn't know anything about it, whatever. And the war was over, right? And they left.
Okay.
And these people were like, "Oh crap, our gods left," because we were gods to them because we were providing life for them.
Yeah.
So they built a
I'll have to
replica.
look this up. Are you
repli-
kidding me?
No, a replica.
This
yes,
is the thing.
a replica of a plane. The plane that came and delivered
Yeah.
the food. They built a wooden out of sticks replica,
And they worshipped
worshipped it, and we're trying to get it to come back. If they
God, people are
sacrifice
stupid.
stuff to it to get people to come
They're
back.
probably
to
tithed 10% of their earnings a
They
week,
would set it on fire.
giving chucking a couple coconuts in every Sunday,
they-
or
I mean, in a sense, they were trying to fill in a gap. I guess.
Yeah.
Why was that? Who were these people? We don't know.
and
But it wasn't about power. It was like, hey,
yeah, they didn't know.
They didn't know.
Man, I can't wait to look that up.
Yeah,
That
it's so true.
amazes me.
It amazed me when I saw
that it was
too.
that recent. And I just, again, with what we know, with where we are in the world today, you would think. I look at this and okay, as Christians, you have to subscribe to the whole thing. You got to own it if you're going to be one.
I don't believe that.
I think, well, why not? They're using this book to try to run the world. All right, you can't get married if you're gay because my book says you can't. Well, your book also says you can't wear two fibers woven together on your shirt or you get stoned to death. So how's come these two people can't marry, but you're walking around with your cotton polyester blend being a fucking asshole? Like, own the book. If you're going to do it, just be consistent with it. And that means you also have to believe a guy lived inside of a whale. All the other crazy shit that's in that book, you have to believe that. And that freaks me out that there's people out there that like, yeah, a guy lived in a whale. He did it.
So
Guy parted the Red Sea.
can
A
two
burning
things
bush talked. It baffles the mind that people are just like, yeah, it happened.
can two things exist in two separate places at the same time? Do you believe that's true?
That we know of right now, where they're actually just getting into that in like quantum mechanics. They're just starting to figure that out. We never thought it was possible before, and now they're starting to find out there's a lot we don't know about the quarks and entangled particles and all that stuff. So
things could be possible that we don't know.
absolutely, that's why I led this off with more the agnostic, not the atheist. I don't think that God could never exist. I do think that every major religion out there is full of shit. They pretend to have answers they don't have, and everybody who believes in them are hypocritical because they just pick and choose what they want to out of them. Or you get to believe that the earth is, a couple hundred or a couple thousand years old, 6,000 years old I think it is, and it's flat and there's a dome over it because that's what it says in Genesis, and that's a whole different kind of fucking crazy. But if you want to be that crazy, do your thing. But some guy spent $100 million, Ken Ham, to build
The rocket guy.
No, Ken Ham build a fucking ark in Kentucky or somewhere. $100 million to build this stupid fucking boat because people think that there was a flood and that he got one of everything or two of everything onto it, and he built one. $100 million because of his stupid fucking religion. You know how many homeless people that could have fed? What a good Christian you are. No, I'm not going to feed anybody. I'm not going to help anybody out. I'm going to build this big fucking boat so I can teach people that people used to ride dinosaurs, because I'm that fucking stupid to believe that. That guy's a fucking nutter. And the worst is that people take their kids to this and teach this nonsense to them. That means that there are little kids that are going to grow up and like be on the playground and be like, yeah, my grandpa rode a Tyrannosaurus around. He had the best Tyrannosaurus. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I
don't even know where to go with that.
I'm sorry. I get angry and going.
But why be so angry about something you don't believe in? That really has no bearing on your life.
It does, though. It really does. We talked about this.
That's why I bring
We're
it up.
a Christian fundamentalist country, and I got to wallow through it all the time, through the judgment and the horse shit. And it's everywhere. Like, even just to be atheist, people are like, really, you're an atheist? They get kind of amazed. And I'm like, yeah, like, you believe in God? And they're like, well, yeah, why don't you? And I'm like, why the fuck do you? I don't get it.
It can be the same on either side, right?
Yeah, and again,
Because it's very real to me as much as it's real to you.
You're free to believe it. I don't have a problem with that.
You do have a problem with it because you want to prove everybody they're wrong.
No, I don't want to prove it that they're wrong. I just want them to, I guess, I don't know.
You take every opportunity to
It bugs me.
to point it out and show out the hypocrisies.
I think that it holds us back as a society now. I think that if we could focus our energies somewhere, it started wars. It still costs money.
See, then I'm going to disagree. Well, let's push that out here real quick.
The Crusades.
Does the religion start the wars, or does human behavior about greed and power start the war in the name of religion?
I don't care.
But it's not the religion. The religion doesn't.
In the case of the Crusades, I would say it was the religion, because they were actively, if you did not believe in their religion, they were actively taking you out, and they did it by the millions. So
because they wanted power, they wanted control.
Yeah,
it wasn't because God came.
According to them, it's because God came down.
God came,
and that's the Christian one. That's like that's the biggest one that there is. The whole, you got the Catholics and all the, whatevers.
Still, that's people. I've never. I guess maybe my Bible reading skills suck, but I've never read in the Bible, go out and kill everybody in the name of religion.
There's a lot of killing in there.
In the Old Testament, yes.
I've read the Bible and I've read the Quran. That's all I've read. I haven't read any of the Judaism stuff or much of the other stuff. I read it, and they're actually
You've
very
read the
similar.
Bible and you read the Quran. You've pretty much read everything in Judaism. It's all the Old Testament.
Yeah, and I'm really I don't get into theology to the point that I'm an expert on it, because I don't.
You're an expert that it doesn't exist.
Well, I don't want to waste my time on something that is.
But you spend a lot of time on it, on the converse of it.
Oh, and talking about it, yeah.
I'm trying to prove people wrong about it.
No, again, I think I don't
point out the.
I don't want to ever leave a conversation to make you not believe in God. I'm just trying to justify my position And I
You
believe
said to me individually that you were disappointed or shocked that I actually present myself as a Christian.
Yeah, I thought you were smarter than that.
See, exactly. That's my point.
Do I look down on people a little bit for having that belief? A little bit, yeah. I mean, I do think that you're maybe not. You're not at your full potential. Maybe I don't know. I don't. Maybe they're scared. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't understand why people
It has
believe
nothing
in
to do
it.
with fear for me. It's a matter of
A
faith.
hope that there's something after this.
No.
Because I would get that.
It's just a feeling.
Okay.
It really is just a feeling, and that's why I say, and I don't subscribe to. You say I guess I'll say I'm a picker and chooser from that side.
Everybody's a picture and chooser.
And I believe that because God comes to you in your way, however that is, and this is what it is to me. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't feel wrong. And
That's
I think
fine.
as long as I don't feel wrong, then I feel I'm right.
And as long as you're not fucking other people up while you're doing it, there's that.
I think people mess each other up in the name of not religion either. So does that? I don't.
No, I'm just saying that religion again it gets in the way sometimes, and that's where it becomes a problem with me. Do I have a problem with people taking their children to an exhibit that teaches them things that are false? Yes, that could have been the person that cures cancer. You know what I mean? And now they're being raised like, in my opinion, kind of dumber for thinking things that aren't real. You're easy to brainwash when you're a kid too. Like I went to church when I was a kid. I was brainwashed when I was a kid. It took a while for me to be like, wait a second, none of this shit makes sense. This is fucking stupid. I'm not doing this anymore. And then I got out of it, and I realized that I never really believed in any of it to begin with. I was just reciting and doing what I was told because that's what you do when you're a kid. But some people don't get out of it. Some people get so ingrained in them that they're like, oh man, they're just it stays with them forever, and that's sad to me. Like you.
And I think a lot of people would say it's sad to them who have a feeling of, I'm not it. I'm not the end all be all in this world. I didn't, there's something bigger, badder, and better than me that created all this.
And I still say there might be. It wasn't the Christian God.
Again, I think it comes. I think it comes to everybody in their own way. It may not be the Christian God. It may be the Hindu God or gods for that matter. Whatever
Krishna?
the case may be.
Is it Krishna?
I'm not even gonna go to that because I don't know.
Something like that.
There's
got
so
a lot
many
of
world
arms.
religions. It's like I would challenge, and I could. I'm sure somebody will figure it out, but I would challenge somebody to find any society that doesn't have some religion in it.
Yeah,
Even your most.
I think they all did or do. Yeah, did and do. I think that's, and again, I think it's how we as people fill in the gaps of shit we don't know, which is why the Egyptians thought that the sun was a god, and then we were like figured it out, and now it's not a god, and now that
Isn't it though?
religion is gone.
Let's talk about that. I'm gonna go back on that.
You're really trying to get me to say that the sun's a god.
I'm not. I'm just saying that it's possible.
It's
and
just,
again,
it's
not
not.
that
I mean, in the aspect of anything's possible.
do we know any? We don't know if God has a form, a figure. We talk about sentience. What you brought up earlier is the sun can't be God because it's not sentient. Do we really know it is sentient or not sentient? We don't know that. It's an assumption.
We know what it's made out of.
What makes? But we're made out of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen.
We know what it's doing.
Stuff.
We know why it's doing it. We know what it's going to do later on.
We can say that about the human body.
And am I a god?
I'm just saying.
I'm more of a god than the sun.
To you, I would say, that's true.
But I mean, the
what
sun
makes you sentient?
The sun, my consciousness, the fact that I'm alive. Now, you want to go down the rabbit hole of are we all in the Matrix or is there a thing? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know all those. I'm just trying to go on the basis of that we all agree on some fundamental things. We can get all weird on it, but in the day-to-day discussion of it, the sun, I know what it does. I know what it's doing up there. We know what it's going to do in the future, and it's got no consciousness. It's
what
just
part
doing
of your
its thing.
body can you live without? Is there a part of your body that you can't live without, that you somehow lose your consciousness? Not necessarily like I'm awake, but your sentientness. Where does it lie? In the brain?
I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. I would think,
Where do you
it'd
think?
be in the brain. I would assume it'd be in the brain. I don't see my
sentientness in your observation, just as your guess,
as my guess.
is a chemical reaction in electrical current.
Yes.
You don't think chemical reaction, electrical currents happen on the sun?
I'm sure that they do.
So why can't it be sentient?
Because I don't think they have the same brain matter or neurons firing to make that a thing. And again, maybe they do, but that's like a leap. There's chemicals in my beer. Can that be my God? Because I would worship him a lot quicker.
I'm just saying if sentientness is explained by chemical reactions and electrical impulses, which is all your brain is, that what we believe, we have science, your science God. Neil deGrasse Tyson is your pope.
Oh man, he's an awesome guy though.
See, you'd give him money, wouldn't you?
No, well, I mean, okay. Well, you know what? I have bought books. I have bought books. I have a couple of autographed books.
You've bought books of shit you've never seen before, and you believe all of it.
Things that have been
Told
reproduced.
you by other people.
Well, and if you live like that, man, like that's rough.
I'm a science. I believe in science too. So, I'm just saying. I'm not just calling a spade a spade. It is what it is. Yeah, I believe that this is. There is a lot in science that I believe just because somebody else has told me so. It's written down in a book, and I believe that the.
Well, that's good because they went through the scientific process to get there. They didn't just say, Newton didn't just say, "Oh, hey, the apple fell. Hey, poof, gravity." He went through and tested it and came up with his laws of motion, and then those are retested and tested again. And you can do those tests if you feel like it, but if you don't feel like it, you can just go, okay, that's how these are now the laws of motion.
Right?
No, it's not faith.
Have faith that that's true.
See, the great thing is that science exists whether you believe in it or not, whereas God does not.
Does.
But I can prove science out to you. We can talk about specific experiments.
I can prove that the sun exists.
Yeah. But
so I can prove that's God.
No, you can't. You can't make that proof.
Why?
Okay, prove to me that the sun is God.
So you said sentientness makes it
prove
God.
To me that the sun knows what's going on.
It has chemical reactions and electrical activity.
That's not proof.
So I give you proof, and you just say it's not proof.
Well, no, I said prove to me that that it's aware.
What proof would be acceptable?
I guess if the sun said, "Hey, dude, he's right,"
it has to speak
over
English.
Here. Something. Got to do something.
Maybe you can't speak. You know what? It's way more advanced than you. It doesn't speak English.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Oh. But in the meantime, that you have not provided sufficient proof of anything other than what I already knew about the sun. So no, it's definitely not a God.
I just don't think it's. I don't think any amount of proof would ever. I don't know that there is proof that you would accept.
I think that there is. I think that if.
Again, I've asked what proof would you accept.
I guess I don't know. It would definitely take.
That's an answer.
It would definitely take. It
would be that
very,
feeling,
very big.
Right? That feeling inside of you goes, shit.
No,
that's God.
No,
I feel that. I know whatever's happening, whatever you're showing me right now, that makes me believe.
I don't think I would ever have that feeling.
So if you could never have that feeling, then there could be no proof that would make you believe in God.
No, by just a feeling.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I would need a lot. I would need more than a feeling.
So I'm saying when you see this proof, you would have that overwhelming feeling. I don't know what else you want.
If it ever happens, I'll let you know. But it would take a pretty big event. It would never be just like, God spoke to me, or because that would just mean that I fucked up my mushroom intake or something. Like it wouldn't be,
Maybe that is God. Maybe that it pulls down a wall and you finally see something, or hear something, or feel something
that I would then attribute to the mushrooms or whatever else I might have been enjoying. I wouldn't think.
Just because it's an altered reality doesn't mean it's not a reality.
No, but it definitely doesn't. It's not something like that's the same. According to that logic, if I take some mushrooms and my TV gets up and walks around, that now I got to worship my TV.
It says you have to worship it, but you can believe that.
Or even believe that really happened. It didn't happen.
You observed it.
In a very altered state.
But you observed it.
And actually, I never saw my TV walk around. Seen some fucked up shit, but never that.
But you observed it.
No, I mean, I
Your
guess
senses
in a way
that it happened.
Yes. But after you're done, you're like, okay, that was a lot of fun. None of that shit happened. Go about your day. I definitely don't write a book about it, build a shrine to it, and try to tell other people that, hey, my TV walked around, give me money every Sunday. I want to tell everybody about this. I don't do that. I just sort of roll with it and go about my shit.
So science is not fallible.
Oh, no, that's the great thing about science. Is
They can have
we
these,
we can be wrong. I'm not a scientist. I don't do a lot of experiments. I do fuck around with Tesla coils on the side, and I do things that are interesting to me. But the great thing about science is that we're always searching. That doesn't matter where you're at right now. You're always looking for the truth. So if we've thought one thing for 20 years because that's the proof that we had, and then someone discovers new proof that changes that, we can change. We can adapt to go with it because now we know this. We didn't know that before, and now we learn. We grow. We don't just stay. See, the Bible, that's just, boom, that's it. Here, you want all your answers? They're right here.
I will tell you, if you start looking into it, talk to any scientist or read anything about history and science, then there's a large group of people that resist change in science because they don't want to rewrite history.
Not good scientists. Good scientists are
I
always
think they all
looking.
want to believe whatever they believe is right, and I've done the research, I've done the experiments. You're not going to tell me I'm wrong. You know, they
Sure.
band together because now if that they have to admit they're wrong, then they lose all their accolades and all the things that.
But eventually, the truth will come out if people are still working towards
Maybe.
the truth. The whole idea of science is to figure out how shit works.
Is it really?
I think so. What's going on? Where do we live? How is our world working? How do we interact with it? What is actually
You
going
think it's
on around
always
us?
for the betterment of people, or just
No, I'm sure that there's
curiosity?
selfish people in there.
And I think
you
those
know.
are you're gonna challenge it as just in a religious context.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that I'm sure there's a lot of asshole scientists out there that are doing shit in their field and they're just jerks. That's fine.
Again, the same
But-
problem.
But so far from this, it's the same problem, except we're not starting wars over it as of yet. I guess now we have Star Wars.
I was gonna say,
Or
what was
Space
the Cold
Force or
War?
something?
Cold War was kind of a war over science.
A little bit, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
I mean-
we got a lot from that.
We had a war
Actually,
over getting a guy
we
to
had
the moon.
that was during the Cold War. We had a lot of the things that people use today came out of the space race.
Sure.
That was really good for everybody. And the sad thing is that we don't do it anymore because now we're busy fucking around with the religious bullshit back on Earth. If we could just go back to being like, hey, let's get manned missions to Mars. Let's get on that. And then the technology that falls down the pike from that, we all get to enjoy.
You think more technology is the answer?
No, I'm just saying that it's nice to have it. We live in a world that I think some technology is bad, in my opinion. I'd rather see people reading books than watching TV.
And I'm sure there was a caveman that says, get out there and pick up sticks and stop writing shit on the walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably.
Nobody's ever gonna do anything by writing shit on the walls, kid. Go out there and pick up some sticks.
You're absolutely.
Go
you
beat
gotta,
your sister over the head with a club. Whatever the case may be.
Was rule of thumb around back then? I thought that came on later.
Well, if you're using a club, you have to have a big thumb.
Right? Well, the cavemen, they might have had big fucking thumbs. Who knows?
Well, science knows.
You know what they say about cavemen with big thumbs.
They wear big gloves.
Yeah.
And they can't pick their nose with their thumb. I did hear a funny thing that somebody called a finger a booger plucker.
Oh, it's kind of gross, though.
It's funny, though.
It's funny.
But religion's one of those things, like, it's very personal. It's
I wish everybody kept it that way. I wish I didn't have to see 8 churches in one town,
You're not forced to go to them.
No, I'm not.
I see
Why
houses of
don't churches pay taxes? Why are they tax free?
lucky bastards.
I'm just saying. It's kind of fucked up. Maybe I should start a church so I can stop paying taxes.
But you don't believe in religion, so
I'll just make my own up. Maybe you know what? Maybe you're right. On this podcast, maybe I'll just be like, yeah, I do believe. Yeah, the sun is a god. It's live up there. 1, give me your money, and 2, I'm paying taxes on it.
I'm sure somebody would subscribe to that.
You're probably right.
Right?
You're probably right. But I'm not going to do it because it's dishonest and it's bullshit.
You do a lot of dishonest bullshit things.
What do I do?
Oh, my
Now
God.
we're getting to personal attacks now.
No, I'm
We're
just-
done.
I'm just saying you're a human being. Of course you do dishonest bullshit stuff.
Yeah, and I don't ask for a God to forgive me for it. I just try to do the best I can. That's another thing too, with the morality portion of it. Like, is it really moral if you're running around doing your thing, living your life, right? And the only reason you're a good person is because you're afraid at the end of the game somebody's gonna fuck you up for it.
My personal belief on that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
And that's
but
why
a lot of
I
people.
don't believe in hell. I don't believe God's a vengeful God. I don't believe all that.
So you don't believe the Bible? It's,
And I
in the Bible, he's a vengeful motherfucker,
in the beginning, yeah, absolutely, yeah, in the
which
beginning.
is in the Bible.
Which again, I think is one of those things in the beginning of the Bible is more of an explanation of what, when, why.
So he was a dick, and then he was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm cool now.
Well, after Christ came, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
makes sense. You have a kid, changes your worldview.
Changed your world, right?
Although that also means that people believe that a virgin had a kid, which I guarantee you that if that should happen today, ain't nobody buying that without a blood test. Not happening.
For those
Not
who listen
fucking
all
happening.
the time, toilet seat babies.
Forgot about that. Yeah, it's not happening. People aren't going to buy that.
A virgin can have a baby today.
Oh, if you get like implanted or something, would that make him Christ though?
Your argument
Wouldn't it?
was, you know, a virgin having a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Today, with the help of science.
Your religion, yes.
It's not a religion. I live in a fact-based world.
And I would say a lot of people in the religious community believe that they believe in a fact-based world and would be able to provide said proof.
My favorite thing in the world is when I'm arguing with one of these religious zealot flat earth nut jobs, and I see the response, and it says, you know, sent via messenger or sent via cell phone. So, like, this guy is arguing with me that the earth is flat, and he's doing it over a cell phone.
Because of satellites.
That more than likely ran through. Well, and a lot of them don't run through satellite relays, but a lot do.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it just cracks me up every time. Just like, geez, dude, what the hell, man? Come on. Like, you're using technology that's proving my point, but you're too stupid to even see that you're doing it. It just bugs me. Don't get me started on the flat Earth people, because that's a whole new level of disrespect.
I'm at a loss with that one too, but
They're out there.
I mean, I can understand some of their arguments that it does seem that way. There are some, you know, tangible things if you just look out from the human eye, from a human perspective, and the small vantage point that we have on this planet.
Because it's a big fucking planet.
Yeah.
So it looks small.
When the gravity really happens of how big this place is. Versus
They also don't believe in gravity, so you can't even use that word.
We're just going up at a high rate of speed.
They believe that we're shooting up at 10.2 meters per second by some, I don't know, mysterious God thing that pushes us. I don't know. I don't get it either, but that's what they argue. And I spend too much time sometimes on message boards, you know, and I don't know why I even argue with these people. Like, hey, just like, man, I gotta spend my time other ways.
You're trying to force your religion on other people.
No, I'm trying to get them to just stop believing in dumb shit that doesn't exist. They have no basis for it, no proof for it.
You want them to believe in what you believe in.
No, I want them to not be stupid. That's it.
That's what you believe in.
That's it. And again, you can believe whatever you believe. Anybody else can believe whatever. I don't have any problem with that. I have a problem with it when it fucks up with where we're trying to go as a society, where we should be going. And right now, we're having an argument with the Muslims. They want to go their way. Christianity wants to go their way. We all get to argue about it. It's a big fucking mess. And I'm just like, hey, can't you all be wrong? And we just move forward. Again, they're just one more level of atheist than I am. That's it. Just one more.
One more level because of.
That's my question too. How do you know you picked the right religion? How do you know you're not a Jew or a Muslim or
Again,
a
my
Buddhist?
belief is I think God comes to you in the way that you need him. That's the way I feel it.
All right. So, but you're not a Buddhist.
No.
So Buddhists are going to hell though.
No.
Okay. So you're not one of the.
I believe
Christians.
God. I'm not in
That's fine. You've got your God.
Yeah.
You got your beliefs,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily believe in the Bible.
I do, but I'm not what you would call like oh man.
Even
verbatim.
the Bible has
Not
like
verbatim,
I forget how many different religions are split off of the Bible.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah,
I mean, there are different sects of Christianity.
yeah, because they all read the book differently, and they're all like, "Well, I'm gonna buy this. I'm not gonna buy this."
Up for interpretation. I think a lot of it is. Yeah.
I think it's this is very blasphemous, but it's the truth.
But what do you care?
If you're ever out of rolling papers,
Yeah.
those it comes in handy. Just saying. In a pinch, it works.
I do remember a time in our childhood that came up, and I'm like, I don't know if I can go that. I mean,
heard,
even if I'm wrong, it just
I had,
seems wrong.
I had heard about it, and I was like, no way. And then I tried it. I'm like, that actually works.
Yeah. What doesn't work is smoking peanut hulls.
Smoking.
Yeah, good memory there.
I bet it doesn't. I remember one time I actually pulled grass out of the yard and tried to smoke that because everybody called it grass when I was growing up. So I didn't know. So I was like, well, I want to get high too, and I tried to smoke actual grass, which by the way will make you cough to death if you finally get it lit, because of course it was
wet.
Yeah, because photosynthesis was happening because science told me that. Yeah, from the sun god. Yeah. And it wasn't God making them grow; it was the chemical, all that.
I don't know. God came up and said, at a certain
Grow,
frequency that we can measure, and everything grew. Just sent out his waves, and in the form of photons, and things grew. He's talking to us all the time.
I'm missing out on it.
I mean, when you fuck up and hang out in his presence too long, you know it. It burns the shit out of you.
I got a little. That's right. I got a little
hang in God's presence way too long, and He will burn you.
Yeah.
See, I'm just saying.
Well, it was a really nice day.
God was nice today.
Like 85 degrees out.
Yeah. He hung out behind a cloud a little bit, allowed us to be outside a little bit longer today. And He gives us devil juice called sunblock.
I didn't use any sunblock today. I didn't think I'd be out there very long, and I was out a little longer than I thought it was going to be. Because it was just so nice.
It was a beautiful day.
So I got a little more color than I meant.
I do miss working outside. I hate working in an office until it's 20 degrees and I have to run into the door.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh, yeah, I don't miss working outside at all. But, your tolerances are changed. But that's religion.
All right.
Arguably correct. Arguably bullshit somewhere.
That was a smidgen of my thoughts on that. But I'm happy to leave it go with that. I could do this for days.
It's dark outside, so God's not around. won't be here till tomorrow. Hopefully it shows up.
You think?
We know we'll have to burn a couple candles, and
I won't have to do that.
No.
I could actually point to you exactly where he will come up over there.
Just because you can predict where he is doesn't mean you know God.
Is it a prediction anymore? If you just know it, wouldn't a prediction just be like your best guess?
But what if it didn't show up?
Then there'd be a God. Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe that's the proof I was looking for. If the sun doesn't actually rise tomorrow.
So we had a supernova tonight.
Supernovas don't happen that quick.
How do you know?
Because I read shit. That's a slow process. Although the funny thing is that
because we've been around so long to watch one from beginning to end.
No, we've seen pictures of all sorts of them happening in different places in the universe. We've seen the stages of it because we're seeing light from forever ago. Just like when you look at, the sunlight you're seeing now left, 7 or 8 or 9, whatever minutes ago.
But maybe quantum mechanics, maybe it's not that far away.
It is.
It can exist here and
the
there.
photons are, yeah. You get into quantum, you don't get me started in the quantum world either with all that shit. But we've
you
seen
might as
them,
well be religious. Because religion seems a little more possible than quantum mechanics in my
really
opinion.
Though, but we can. I could literally set up a thing.
I get
for
it.
next
But
time
I'm
you're
saying
over,
it seems more
and I
reasonable.
could show you the double slit experiment, which would blow your fucking mind.
You're talking about the waves versus particles.
Yeah.
Well,
they act as a wave instead of
at the same time. I get it, but I'm just saying it seems more unlikely. Some of that stuff.
Except I can see it on the back of the board, so I actually know what's happening. Whereas the bearded wizard guy up there, I got nothing.
Leave the
from
spaghetti
him.
monster alone.
That I like the spaghetti monster.
Oh, you believe in that one? Figures.
In the fact that it's hilarious and awesome, yes.
I say to each their own. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, me too. For the
Never
most part,
killed a person over religion, nor will I ever.
Yeah, as long as you're not doing that, I guess you're fine in my book. But don't start a war over it. Leave me the fuck out of it. Don't preach to me about your shit, which you don't. We have
no, but
conversations.
you preach to me about your shit.
I don't preach to you about it. I just point out that I'm confused. What you do is you try to make me admit that science is a religion, just so you can think that I'm religious like you, even though
no, I believe
science is not a religion, and also I'm not religious like you.
I believe science is religion by the definition in which you see religion in.
But according to your definition, that means that if you don't actually do any experiment yourself, then you're taking faith that it is how it operates.
Yes.
That means that I think the rule should be at that point, you should not be able to use a cell phone or televisions. Anything you don't know or have done yourself, you shouldn't be able to have access to.
You have faith that it's going to work. Just because you don't know how it works.
No, I know how a lot of that stuff works.
Or you do or don't, doesn't matter. How does, I'm not sure how that relates.
Because I don't take it on faith. You know what I mean? Like my TV works, and I know how it works. I know how the signals are sent and all that stuff. You're saying I wasn't there to do the tests, therefore I don't know how it works.
Because maybe it is magic.
And I think that if you think that stuff's magic, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to play with it. You know, maybe you should just, I don't know, sit in your grass hut.
Don't give me your rules. I don't live in your
exactly because it's
religion.
And that's the great thing about science too, is even if you don't believe in it, you still get to use all of it. You know, whereas I don't get to go play in heaven or whatever.
You get to use religion.
No,
sure.
I have no use for religion whatsoever.
I mean, look at the money you spend.
You use it.
In God we trust.
Oh, don't get me started in the separation portion of it. All right. Well, we should probably wrap it about up.
You got
I'm
pizza.
gonna go eat some pizza.
You fat ass.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Hey, God told me to do it.
Well, then it must be.
It's not my fault. God made buffalo sauce.
How could
so
God
good.
tell you to do anything? It's dark outside.
All right. Until next time, folks.
Hooba looba. I have no idea what that meant.